carriage of oxygen. So here we're looking at fetal hemoglobin and maternal hemoglobin. So these are shown by these three red blobs. So these are red blood cells carrying fetal hemoglobin. This is your fetus down here. This is the placenta. This is the capillary bed of the mother holding on to maternal hemoglobin, which is adult hemoglobin. These white blobs represent the oxygen. If you have a look at the graph, what we're suggesting is that at high partial pressures of oxygen, so where there is a lot of oxygen, the maternal hemoglobin is fully saturated. As the maternal hemoglobin, so this would be at the lungs, as the maternal hemoglobin reaches the placenta, the partial pressure of oxygen will be much lower. This means that the maternal hemoglobin will be ready to dissociate from the oxygen. So as the maternal hemoglobin is ready to dissociate at the placenta, you'll notice that the fetal hemoglobin is actually ready to associate. So what we're saying basically is that the fetal hemoglobin, when it comes near to the oxygen, so please note that the bloods do not mix, but the oxygen is able to be moved from one hemoglobin molecule to another hemoglobin molecule because this one has a greater affinity than this one. So the fetal hemoglobin isn't snatching, it's just that it has a higher affinity for the oxygen. So when there is oxygen around, as there is in the placenta, it means that instead of it sticking with the maternal hemoglobin, because the fetal hemoglobin has a higher affinity, it will load the oxygen onto it and then go to the fetus, where it will unload because the partial pressure of oxygen down here, as you can see, no other oxygen molecules, will be very low. And you can see this on the graph where the low partial pressure of oxygen is. So here in the fetus is where there is very low partial pressure of oxygen. That is where the fetal hemoglobin will give it up. Obviously this does not remain into adulthood. You change the type of hemoglobin, it becomes from fetal to adult, because otherwise when this fetus grows up, and if it was a female fetus decided to have a baby, it wouldn't be able to give its baby the oxygen. The hemoglobin, the maternal hemoglobin and the fetal hemoglobin would have the same affinity, and so the maternal hemoglobin would then keep hold of the oxygen.